Good afternoon, algebra class. Hope you guys are doing well in the like 2 hours since I've talked to you. So I am going to go over a couple extra questions on our study guide. I think what I'm going to do is go over number 6. That's completing the square. We talked about it a little bit, but now you'll have an example in video form of me completing the square. I will do numbers 11 and 12. We did 13 through 16 as a class. I will go over number 20 and then these final 6 here in this video. So let's just get to it. Yeah, dude. Yeah. So number 6. So here's my answer sheet. Here's this guy, number 6. Solve this business by completing the square. Okay. So it's already in the format that we'll need it in, right? Because the C term, the constant, is on the other side of the equal sign. So that's what I've got here. Why don't I do this? I can show you just one step at a time. So my constant is separated by the equal sign. Now I could add to both sides of the equation. This is the b over 2 squared, and in this case that equals 6 over 2 squared, which is 3 squared, which is 9. So this is what I'm going to add to both sides of my equation. That's what I have here. That's the 6 over 2 squared. I'm adding that to both sides of the equation. That gives me this guy. Right? Negative 5 plus 9 is 4. Now, x squared plus 6x plus 9, if we were to factor that, that's where we get x plus 3 squared. Now, again, I get the 3 right there. And I know that I'm adding it, not subtracting it, because I'm adding it here, not subtracting. So that's how I get my x plus 3 equals 4. Rather, that's x plus 3 squared equals 4. Take the square root of both sides. That's going to be x plus 3 equals plus or minus 2, right? Because the square root of 4 is plus or minus 2. Then I set it up as x plus 3 equals 2. X plus 3 equals negative 2. That's the plus or minus 2. Solve for x, and that's where we get this guy. Okay. All right, moving right along. 11 and 12. 11 and dose, for those of us who are super duper fancy. Let's see, let me grab a piece of papel for us. Sorry, there's a blank for later. Okay. Number 11 states 3y squared minus 2 equals 3y. Okay, so number 11. 3y squared minus 2 equals 3y. And it tells us to solve using the method of our choice. Okay, well, first off, I can't have my y's separated from my y squared, so I'm going to subtract 3y from both sides. That's going to give me 3y squared minus 3y minus 2 equals 0. So yeah, I do need to set it equal to 0. That's how I have it. Okay, well, first off, I'm going to see if I can do a diamond problem. So that'll be -6, -3. Let's see, something that'll multiply to get -6, but adds to be -3. Multiplies to -6 is 2 and 3, or 6 and 1. I just don't think that's going to work out. So we can't do that. And I don't think we can factor. I think what's going to be best is for me to do completing the square. Yeah, I'll do it that way. Okay, so that'll give me 3y squared minus 3y equals 2. Now I do need to have in order to complete the square, I need to divide this by I need to divide everything by 3 because I can't have a coefficient. So that'll give me y squared minus y equals 2/3. Okay. My b over 2 squared is -1 over 2 squared, which is 1/4. So I'm going to add 1/4, 1/4. But before I do that, I'm just going to know that this is going to be y minus 1/4 squared equals 2/3 plus 1/4 is 12. 12 is the common denominator. I won't do it in my head, I'll do it on paper. So 2/3 plus 1/4 need to be 12. So times 4 times 4 times 3 times 3 equals 8/12 plus 3/12 equals 11/12. Okay. Now I need to take the square root of that. Yeah, this is ugly. Okay. So y minus 1/4 equals plus or minus the square root of 11/12. Yeah, this is awful. So y equals, I'm going to add 1/4. 1/4 plus or minus the square root of 11/12. Good riddance. Okay, moving on. Number 12. Hope you guys could see that. I'm doing it in pencil instead of pen because I make mistakes, and so I don't want to make mistakes. Okay, number 12. 3x squared equals 2x plus 5. 2x plus 5. Okay. Again, I need them all on the same side of the equation. So 3x squared minus 2x minus 5 equals 0. This time, oh shoot. Well, this time I know this is going to work. Okay, so 3 times -5 is -15. -2 on the bottom. And my negative is going to be -5 times 3. So that's why you tried the diamond problem first. I was just going to do the quadratic formula. I didn't. So here we go. Okay, so that gives me 3x squared plus 3x minus 5x minus 2. Oh, not minus 5. Wait, on a second. Maybe that will... Oh, yeah. Minus 5x minus 5. I confused myself. Sorry. And now I factor. I could take 3x out of this guy. 3x, x plus 1. I could take negative 5 out of these guys. Negative 5, x plus 1. Right, because negative 5 divided by negative 5 equals positive 1. So my factors are 3x minus 5 and x plus 1. I'm going to set these equal to 0. Now I'm going to solve each of them individually equaling to 0. I'm going to use the space up here. 3x minus 5 equals 0 and x plus 1 equals 0. Plus 5 plus 5. 3x equals 5. So x equals 5 thirds, right? Because I divide by 3. Or minus 1, or x equals negative 1. So these, oh, I'm sorry, you missed that whole last part. So these are my answers, okay? Okay, moving on. The next question is number 20. Numero 20. Number 20 says, Mr. Franks runs a hot dog distribution warehouse that distributes hot dogs to blah, 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 blah. Don't need any of that information. The amount of profit he makes depends on the number of boxes he sells. Okay, so profit he makes is going to be P of x, depends on the number of boxes he sells. So x is amount sold and P of x, profit. Okay, kind of standard stuff. The profit follows this equation. What is his maximum profit? And how many boxes should he sell in order to reach the maximum profit? Okay, a couple things to notice. Maximum profit is how much is he going to sell total. Well, if we have a positive parabola, his maximum profit is going to be infinity. But that's not the case because we have a negative parabola. So again, I just rewrote it here. For those of you who aren't able to print, just do the problems like this. You don't need to rewrite all the words if that's the case. Just give me kind of the basic information. So because it's a downward facing parabola, which it is, it's got a negative, its highest power is negative. So it's going to be a downward facing parabola. The x value of the vertex will be the maximum point. Rather, the vertex is the maximum point, but the x value is the maximum point of profit. Okay. Well, now we need to find out what the vertex is. Vertex, was it EX or IX? Vertex, I don't know, whatever. H, comma, K. Now, we can do a whole bunch of different stuff to figure out how, the graphing format and do completing the square. We're not going to do that, right? We went over this kind of stuff in 12.9, so you can check your notes there. But in 12.9, we figured out that H equals negative B over 2A, and K equals the function the function at h. So f of f of h. Ugh. I can't do this one-handed. F of h. Okay, f of h. So let's figure out what our h is. Hopefully it's not too bad. So negative b divided by 2a. Okay, well our b is 144, so h equals, but it's negative b, so negative 144. Oh, that's 40. Oh, that would have thrown everything off. Negative 140 divided by 2 times a. Well, my a is just negative 1. Well, what's really nice is this negative is going to cancel out with that negative. Actually, hold on, let me do it like this so I don't confuse you guys. Equals, I'll do it down, 140 over 2. So h equals 70. Okay. Now what I need to do, this will be a little bit longer of a process, is plug in p of x, right? Because that's our function. But I'm going to do p not of x, but p of 70, h. So p of 70 equals negative 70 squared plus 140 times 70 minus 3,940. Okay, these are the moments where you're glad that you're not in Mr. Boulder's class, because I probably would not let you use a calculator because graphing calculators, etc. But you're not in my class, so you can reach in to, oh, come on, where'd you go? No, that's not what I'm looking for. Oh no. You guys are like feeling vindication because I'm looking for a calculator and I can't find one. Ah, here it is. Okay. Now it's important to remember that this is on the outside. So when I plug it in, I'm going to do 70 squared, 4,900. So it's going to be, shoot, hold on a second. It might, I know it's 4,900. I don't remember if it's negative or not, so let me figure that out. So plus 70 times 140. 140 times 70. 9,800. Minus 3,940. Yeah, I think this is going to be, my parentheses is going to be here, which is going to make this positive. So that's going to give me this plus this minus that. So this that's 10,760. That's his maximum profit. So our vertex, our x value is 70, and our y value, or k, is 10,760. I'm going to make this comma a little bit smaller. So when he sells, is it Mr. Frank? Yeah, when Mr. Franks sells 70 boxes, he earns his maximum profit of $10,760. Okay. All right. Yes, this is a long video, but I'm going through a lot of stuff, and I still have a few more to show. So bear with me, guys. We can do this. I want to get through all of these ones. Okay. So for these next problems, g of x is going to equal this business, and we're going to use it for all of these. Okay, so what we're going to do is we calculate the discriminant. Okay, so number 21. The discriminant, this is from 12.6 in your book. The discriminant, remember, this is the business underneath the square root. So if we did the whole quadratic formula, this would be the business underneath the square root. So you just kind of plug some stuff in and figure it out. So my b term is -8 minus 4 times a, 2, and c is 6. -8 squared is 64 minus 4 times 2 times 6. So I rewrote that just to kind of make it, just to clarify. 4 times 2 times 6 is 48. So our discriminant is 16. Boom, done. Next question. Describe its roots. This is number 22. Describe its roots. Okay. Well, again, this is from 12.6. Since the discriminant is greater than 1, so it's positive, and a perfect square, therefore it will have 2 rational solutions. That just means that our numbers aren't going to be under square roots. They might be fractions, but they're going to be things that we can predict. And that's it. That's the kind of stuff that our information is going to tell us. So you might want to keep your notes on 12.6 when you go over that test. Okay, guys? Number 23, complete the square to write in graphing form. All right, everyone's favorite. This is from 12.3 and 12.8 notes. So what I've done is I wrote it in complete the square format, which means that my g of x, why is this all blurry? My g of x and my constant are on the same side of the equation, and then my variables are over here. So all I did was I subtracted 6 over here. Now, step 2, add b over 2 squared to both sides. So my b over 2 is this guy, -8 divided by 2 squared. I'm adding that to both sides of the equation. So negative b over 2 squared is 16. -8 divided by 2 is -4. -4 squared is 16. So I'm adding 16 to each side of the equation. Now, at this point, this guy right here can be factored. Factor this side, a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So my factor ends up being 2x minus 4 squared. Now I want to isolate my g of x, so I'm going to get rid of this guy and move it back to the other side. Okay. Now, is there other simplifying I could do? Yep, you bet. I can remove this 2. And then I get graphing form, which looks like this. And again, that's the a x minus h squared plus k. Booyah. Okay, number 24. I'm moving fast just because I don't want to waste your guys' time. 24, state the coordinates of the graph's vertex. And again, graphing form is so nice because I have this. So this is the standard graphing form. F of x equals ax minus h squared plus k. My vertex is h comma k. So with this guy, my vertex is going to be 2, positive 2, right? When it's on the inside, I can ignore the negative. Minus 10. Oh yeah, easy. Straightforward, easy stuff. Now, is the vertex a maximum or a minimum? Well, that's asking if our parabola is opening up or down. Well, it's opening up. It's got a positive a, so the function has a positive a, or an a greater than 0, therefore it's positive. So it opens up, and the vertex is a minimum. Boom, easy. Number 26 asks us to graph it. I just did a real quick one. I plotted the vertex down here. I know, based on the original equation, that the y-intercept is at positive 6. And because of symmetry, so I move over 2 and go from 6 to negative 10. So I know if I move over 2 more, I'm going to go from negative 10 to 6. So I just did a real quick, simple graph. Look, I didn't even label it. I just kind of sketched it out. And that's all. It's a lot, but I think you guys got the idea. If you have any questions, please let me know. By tomorrow, I'm going to come out with a video with your test. Then we can move on from there. All right, love you guys. Bye.